welcome back to Crafty Mama. Today we're doing a walk through the garden, first walkthrough that we've had this year. It is June 3rd. I live in the middle of Kansas in Zone 5B. And yeah, let's get started. Alright, so first thing you're going to notice when you walk through my garden is the potatoes. We got these feed buckets from someone on Facebook Marketplace. Filled them with some good compost and perlite, and then my oldest son planted 3 or 4 per. You can notice these two, even though we've gotten a lot of rain, because there's so many leaves, the plants themselves have not gotten a lot of water down to their roots, so I need to get those watered today for sure. So we have 3 potato plants here, and then down there we have another 5 buckets, which I can't really show you because of the van being there, but we did get some, I believe they were the red potatoes, sweet potatoes, from Sutherland's this year, but most of these plants are actually just from russet potatoes that we had gotten from our local Dillons that we had just let to go ahead and create eyes, and then we plant the entire plant. We don't actually cut it or anything. Lots of weeds. We need to get this done. We have a pallet up here, has our rain gauge. Looks like we got like ½ an inch of rain or so. And then we have these, which eventually I'm going to have a cover for, because obviously the rain on them every single time, and the sun and everything is not good for them. But so that we have it out here when we need it during the warmer months. We do have that there with all of those tools, and then we keep the smaller tools in our greenhouse. This laundry hamper used to actually have strawberries in it, and they didn't work out very well. So instead, I really need to pull all the dirt out and put some weed fabric in there so we don't have the issue with the weeds. But on top, we have some different plants. We have some Canterbury bells, we have some fenugreek, we have some hyssop. I did plant some sesame seeds. I don't know if they're coming up yet. This bed we originally planted in all greens, my youngest and I did, and then nothing came up. So when it was time to put out like the peppers and everything, we went ahead and put that out. We have some kale and some lettuces and that kind of a thing, and then we have our 2 like pimento peppers. And then I noticed, oh look, we have greens coming up in it now too, so that bed might be a mess. Then, as I said in a previous video, I'm using sewing tool that you would use to make like a tutu for a ballerina or something like that. I got that tool, this green tool specifically, at Hobby Lobby. I think it was like 30 cents a yard, and I got like 40 yards of it because that was what was on the bolt. And then I used hula hoops, and I just cut it. I didn't even try to make it smaller. I just cut it and I just squeezed it into the ground and put the tool over it, and it has worked amazing. This bed is all cantaloupe mixed in with, once again, some greens that my youngest and I planted and we didn't think was coming up, so we went ahead and planted more of the stuff in there. It could be interesting. Back here is just an empty bucket that we haven't used yet. We do have a couple of tomato plants over here, and I don't keep track of the name brand. Like I have an ancho pepper here, and then I just have an Amish paste. I don't know the specific name or company I used. I literally I planted it and put, oh, Amish paste, cool, spoon tomato, okay, cool. So I'm not all that particular when it comes to that kind of thing. I've never had too much of an issue, and I'm not big on, oh, I have to have this specific yield. So this is another pepper plant. This one is this is my pimento pepper as well. I have another Amish paste tomato there. We did use straw, or we tried to mulch, and it's causing more havoc than it's worth. So I will definitely not be using that again next year. I think I'm just going to use some dried grass clippings. In here we have some cherry peppers. We did plant some garlic back there. You can kind of see just the mess of weeds that we need to get pulled out. And then we have a bell pepper here, and a bell pepper there. This is all one elderberry. I have tried to take clippings off of it, but they have not fared very well. I'm going to try a new method with sand, so look forward to that video. You can come along while I do that experiment. That has nothing in it yet. I need to pull the weeds and get it planted. I have a spoon tomato, I think, in the greenhouse that I need to get planted. Well, this is what I was trying to use for my elderberry cuttings, and like I said, it didn't work. Then we have another Brassica bed. This one does have cabbages. It has some broccoli in it. Since it's bigger, I was able to plant more in there. These plants were a lot smaller than my cauliflower though, so that's why you can't really see too much of what's actually in there. And then this bed I did all of my root crops. You can kind of see some of my radishes have already started to bolt on me, which I'm just going to leave because it brings in the beautiful flowers, which helps all the bees and the pollinators, so I'm perfectly fine with that. But we have some Swiss chard down in here, which I'm the only one that likes Swiss chard, so I guess more for me. And then the boys will come out every so often and just pull a radish or a turnip or whatever. These right here both have gladiolas in them. I did plant them in the ground last year and then realized, oh, you have to take those out because of where we live. So I went ahead and just planted them in the buckets, and I will just put them in the greenhouse for the winter time. And then I can just set them out, and it'll make it life a lot easier. This trellis is going to be all peas. I have sweet peas on one side, and then I have the split peas on the other. We eat both of them just as a snack. So I'm hoping eventually we can get them in the freezer after we've kind of gotten our fill of them. But I just absolutely love the purple flowers, and I wound up actually getting it so that all the purple flowers are on this one and all the white flowers are on that one, so that's pretty cool. And I just keep weaving it back and forth. When it very first started coming up, I did use, I don't know if I'll be able to find them, I did use, oh, there's one. These little plastic clips that my mom and I had found, and they work out great, don't get me wrong. But, I mean, after so long, you really don't need them. And then I have just a single little loofah down here in the corner that is thriving. And the reason I put it with my peas is because on the other trellis that I usually grow on, I have my cucumbers. And because loofahs and cucumbers are so close together, I didn't want them cross-pollinating and causing issues. Back on this fence, I have 3 different blueberry bushes, which this one and that one didn't make any blueberries as of yet. I don't think they will this year. They're still trying to get settled. And I did put daylilies last year when I was planting in the middle of them. This one, however, is giving us a few blueberries. Obviously, they're not ready yet, but I'm pretty excited for next year to see how many we're going to get. And then we have more daylilies here. This is the back of the greenhouse where the window is. I have a weed I need to get pulled out. The boys and I did come out, before we put the straw down, we came out and emptied like 2 of the mammoth sunflower heads as seeds along the back and the side, hoping that maybe it would be full of sunflowers and we wouldn't have to worry as much with the weeds. So we'll see how well that works out. And then on this side, I don't know, I might be a rebel. I wind up leaving pretty flowers, even if they're weeds. If flowers are not going to, cause an issue, because, I mean, the more flowers you have, the better you have for pollinators, and they're really not doing any harm. So we actually just got a couple handfuls of peas off of these plants yesterday. Like I said, these were all the white flower ones, so it'd be kind of interesting once they get to the top what they're going to look like. Over here we have 3 mixed buckets and then 2 zucchini. So in this one we're going to have some catgrass, gazania flower, some fenugreek, some marshmallow. You can see this marshmallow is very, very happy. That Kazania is going to be huge. The Canterbury bells that I have in one of these is going to be huge. Zucchinis, eventually, probably here in the next week, I'm going to come out and start clipping the leaves just so that I don't have as much of an issue like I did last year with them getting too wet, basically. And here we have some more cat grass. We also have some marshmallow and some fenugreek. I'm not sure why. Oh no, there they are. Some are happier than others. And like I said, this other zucchini, and then we once again have some more fenugreek gazanias. This was a volunteer sunflower, mammoth sunflower, so we just went ahead and left it, figured it'll give it a little bit of shade. And then we just got this put in. This is one of our garden rain barrels, and we have 2 more over yonder that actually attaches to the house that grabs the water there, and then we just use our drill pump and we pump it into this one, and that's what I use to water the greenhouse and then some of the plants over here. We have a lot of volunteer sunflowers this year, like a lot. Not that I'm complaining, I love sunflowers, we will use them, if nothing else for shade. But like this section last year, it was just like this small section here, and then all of this was corn. Well, we're gonna have all sunflowers. I'm perfectly fine with that. I absolutely love sunflowers. Great for pollinators. You can see some of our gladiolus in this bucket are actually already coming up. And then we have our onion beds, which I have my Brussels sprouts in. And you can see 3 of them, and then there's supposed to be one down here, but I think it died. And then we have some other volunteer plants, like this one over here looks like a squash. I didn't even plant squash in there last year, so that could be interesting. This looks like our tomatillo plant from last year, which we also did not have over here. So I'm just kind of waiting to see. This also might be our pepper plant. I can't remember. We're just waiting to see what they are, because free plants, you might as well not pull them out, right? Beside that, we have another onion bed. I do need to cut the scapes off of these and get them dehydrated because I use those in stews during the winter. And then another volunteer sunflower plant. This one's going to get huge. I tried to take most of the monster sunflowers out, or the mammoth sunflowers out. But some of them, I mean, they're pretty well established, and a little bit of shade ain't going to hurt anything. So I left that one there. The onions are definitely getting nice and big already. I mean, these came in as like little itty bitty slips, so that's exciting. Then we have a few different, well, we have sunflowers that we need to get pulled because I don't want sunflowers, any more sunflowers than that one in this bed. We got some different things of carrots. We used, there are some garlic bulbs planted in there. We do have a couple of pepper plants. We have bell peppers, we have pimento peppers, we have cherry peppers. I think we have a chocolate bell pepper. And we have, I'm not even sure how this little guy got all the way over here, but he did. And then we have volunteer potato plants, because we apparently did not harvest all of them either time that we harvested over here last year. So we have some more there, and then we have some more carrots here. I will be coming out later and probably adding in a few more batches of carrots just so that we can kind of succession plant them, but maybe not while it's so hot out here because it's getting toasty. Then over here we have once again another volunteer squash of some sort. I don't know what it's going to be, but I'm going to leave it. And then we have a spoon tomato. Over here we have some more volunteer mammoth sunflowers with our cucumber trellis. I wanted them planted by the trellis, but you know, I let the kids do it. It is what it is. Not a big deal. When they get big enough, we'll just probably use those clear clips at least to begin with and get them trellising over. And then you have the cucumbers hanging down, which makes it easier to harvest, as well as to prune back the leaves so that you don't have as much of an issue with rotting. This gladiolus I planted last, so I wasn't expecting it to come up for probably at least another week. You can see another sunflower. Oh, more sunflowers, I'm telling you. Oh, and our neighbor's cat. Hello, kitty. So the tires, that one obviously doesn't have anything planted in it. This tire, or these 3 tires, I have asparagus planted, and I planted 2 per, and I think, yes, all of them have come up. I need to get them weeded again, and then get some of the dried grass put in it to use as mulch, which is also what I'm going to use over here. It'll eventually get done. And then we have our strawberry bed, which is, as you can tell, just a pallet. We didn't even put boards on the sides. We just filled it in with some compost that we got. Planted the little babies for my mom's garden when she was transplanting all of hers. We had sunflowers back along there last year, which is why we have so many sunflowers here. And as they get too big or as they start invading, I wind up taking them out. But, I mean, I'm not thinking sunflowers are too big of a deal in a strawberry patch as long as they don't get overly shaded. So that is the main area of the garden. You can see our compost tumbler that we use, the same buckets as our rain barrels. We have 2 more there. We're going to add a couple more rain barrels. We have our sifter over there. There's all the grass I'm going to be using. We need to get that out of there so that we can get this year starting to be put in there. And then we have the blasted straw that, oh, by the way, I'm also allergic to, so that's fun. And then we have some weeds that we need to get torn down. And then our backyard, where, if you can hear it, is our dog. And then we were able to get over here, down there, is a little grape plant, which is another reason why I want to move the tools, because obviously the grape plant we're going to have a pergola here, and I want the grape plant to go up it, and it won't be able to if there's the tools here. So I think over here, where there isn't anything, I'm going to build like a little covered shed kind of thing to put all the tools, so it's still in the garden, but it's covered and it's not going to invade where I want the grapes to go. So that is the vegetable garden, or at least the majority vegetable garden.